So, we're going to be debunking the Spanish Inquisition using math, or at least a myth about the Spanish Inquisition using math. So, quite some time ago, I saw a meme on Facebook shared by an atheist group that said something to the effect of, if you think Islam is bad, remember that the Spanish Inquisition killed 75 million people. And something about that struck me as wrong. And the thing that struck me about that as wrong was population, actually. Basically, the number that the meme gave was mathematically impossible. So, to clarify, there was more than one Inquisition. There was the Spanish Inquisition, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Those guys, although actually everybody expected them. I think they were required to give several weeks of advance notice before they actually started inspecting you. But be that as it may, there was that one. Then there was the Roman Inquisition, and their job basically wouldn't have allowed them to kill anybody, or at least not any member of the civilian population, because they acted as internal security or internal investigations for the church. So, priest does something bad, Inquisition gets sent to investigate. Either the priest actually did the thing and they haul him off for defrocking and either turning over to the secular authorities or finding some way of dealing with him themselves, or they find him innocent and let him go. So that was the Roman Inquisition. They had no authority over the civilian population. So they weren't killing anybody. Okay, so we have the Spanish Inquisition. Now this was founded in the 1490s-ish, but let's say it was from 1499, 1500 to 1800, just for the sake of clarity of numbers. It was a few years longer, like maybe 20 years longer in actuality, but this is pretty close. So, the Spanish Inquisition got its start as a secular institution founded by the Kingdom of Spain, although it soon fell under the auspices of the Catholic Church. Now, Kingdom of Spain founds this as a way of helping with the sort of cleanup aspect of the Reconquista. And they do have authority to execute civilians. So with the history lesson out of the way, there's one more crucial fact. In 1500, the population of Spain was 7 million. This doesn't include Portugal, but the Spanish Inquisition was not operating in Portugal, so that can be laid aside. It's irrelevant. Okay, now let's do the math. 75 million divided into 300, because the Inquisition was operational for 300 years, is 250,000. Okay, 250,000 dead a year. Now multiply that by 28 and you have 7 million. In other words, within 28 years, you have wiped out the mainland Spanish population. Ooh, this isn't looking good for the meme. So, because it's physically impossible to completely eliminate a population every 28 years, and then start over again and do that again and again and again for 300 years, and somehow still have a population at the end of it, let's look at the actual numbers. The actual number is 150,000 cases prosecuted over those 300 years, which gets you to, I believe, 300 cases a year-ish. And of those 150,000 cases, 3,000 to 5,000 move forward to the stage of execution. Now, divide 3,000 by 300 and you have 10. Divide 5,000 by 300 and you have 16.6. But let's just call it 16 because nobody ever executed 0.6% of a 0.6 of a person. So you have between 10 and 16 executions per year on average, with an average of 300 investigations. So you have less than 1% of these ending in execution. You also have less than, I think, 5% ever moving to the stage of using torture. So, 10 executions a year isn't really a lot, even when the population is less than the population of modern-day New York City. And I think that's where the meme really falls down, is it thinks in terms of modern populations. A modern large city could have the population of an entire medieval nation. So, yeah, something to think about.